we're back. Another week down. I'm hurting like all get out. Anyways, so welcome back to VD4GM. I'm Knight. With me, my good brother, Daddy Bro 72.
What's happening?
How you doing today, buddy?
You know.
Yeah, we had a good party earlier.
We did.
Yeah,
We had fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
I like your couch, man.
Yeah, it's nice, right?
I almost fell asleep.
It's fantastic. And but yeah, Mama let me sit up in the living room tonight. So it's a good time. It's nice and comfortable.
Cool.
And she's sitting right here. What's it? Yeah, and I got a comfy chair. I got the good one. The nice little office chair. So, and there's Chris. Well, Chris, hold on. Let's see what he has to say. What's going on, brother?
I'm giving my daughter a bath because she's putting the dirt outside.
Oh.
She's full of dirt.
So you got to So you got to give her a tranquilizer.
I'll be on shortly.
Okay. Well, we're already streaming, so we're ready for you.
All right, man.
All right. So yeah, there we go. That was fun.
I fluff your pillow.
Yeah, I fluff your pillow. I guess, what else was there? Was more to it than that.
Oh, I ain't gonna say the rest.
Oh, come on.
You need blowjob?
Yeah, you need sucky.
I fluff your pillow.
Oh man. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about D&D, but I think we're going to stick more to like the veteran stuff tonight.
Okay.
So I mean, of course we can always go back and forth. It doesn't really has nothing major to do like with anything. So, yeah. What's the latest scoop that you've gotten on the VA and did you hear about the VFW and going after the what's his name, baby? The guy with the sign. The VFW went after the DFW or the VFW went after DFW. VFW went after guy with a sign, and he's a veteran, and he was just speaking out about how like the VA and the VFW and stuff like that do him wrong. Was that right?
What?
About PTSD and suicide awareness. That's it.
Why are they going after him?
Yeah, and so he was in front of Reed Medical. So he was in. Hold on. He was in front of Reed Medical, and he was holding up signs. Like, and it's for suicide awareness. Yeah, and so in front of Reed Medical, and so apparently the VFW went after him. That's right. I remember that now because I read that. So, yeah. Well, yeah, I got to watch some of it. I didn't watch all of it. I should have watched all of it. That one guy was fantastic. So, anyways, he stands in front of like Reed Medical, and was like, somebody loves you. It's all about suicide awareness. So, like veterans with PTSD, like they don't off themselves,
right?
Unalive themselves,
Right.
And so they went after him because apparently, like Reed Medical is like sharking, they're claiming that Reed Medical is sharking veterans, right? Yeah, taking their VA benefit money.
Walter Reed Medical, the hospital.
Correct.
I don't understand.
Yeah, so they went after, they're saying that the Reed Hospital is taking their VA money and essentially not to feed the sharks. To because apparently there's some, yeah, that you can get your VA benefits if you're a veteran. If you're a veteran and you haven't gone to the VA yet to get your benefits, which you should.
Absolutely.
The military does not tell you this, and nobody.
The Navy tells you that. I can't speak to the other branches.
I mean, the army didn't say anything.
Well, that's because it's the army.
Yeah, the army was like, no, you get out, you're done. So I didn't realize I had any benefits until somebody was like, dude, why don't you have VA benefits? I was like, I didn't know.
Oh, dude, have you gotten a disability claim done yet?
Yeah, I've already. It took forever, but yeah, I got.
Well, good.
Yeah, I got like what was it like a year and a couple months, like the back pay and everything.
Yeah. Did you
But-
get a percent? What percent are you at if you don't mind?
60.
Okay, that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to
So-
tell you where I am.
If you're at 100, that's yeah.
I'm not. I wish. My wife is.
Well, I mean,
I'm at 90.
oh, good lord. See, even then, both y'all are doing better off than I am.
Yeah, but it took, dude. The only reason I'm at 90 is because of my wife, because she used to work for the VA,
Mm-hmm.
and she knew what to do for the CCNA or whatever they're called, the little inspections when they talk to you and stuff.
Yeah.
Besides, I basically had a shoulder surgery while I was in the military that crushed my T2 nerve, which caused permanent nerve damage. And I threatened to sue them. And they're like, you can't sue us. And I said, watch me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I
Yeah.
subpoenaed somebody who was pretty high ranking. And then they're like, oh, we need to make this go away.
Yeah.
So-
See, but you know, if you are a veteran and you haven't gotten your VA stuff, definitely go
Go
get that done.
get your stuff today.
Yeah, get yourself a was it good VFO, right? Is that what they're called?
Yep.
VSO.
VSO.
Yeah, go get yourself
And
a good VSO.
I know that the VFW provides them. There are all kinds of like former military, paramilitary groups that will help you with that.
Yeah, the
right.
VFW will do it. And then, but not only that, but you can go to your county.
Yep.
Yeah, your counties usually have them too. So,
Yep.
Yep. Or if you live in Louisiana, your parish
Parish.
will help you.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Out there in the boonies.
yeah, exactly.
Go mud down yonder in the holler. Yeah, too.
Oh.
All right.
So yeah, so apparently though the VFW is going after this guy, and they put totally in okay, look, I'm the veteran that says that let me just go out there. My hat, I know. Yeah, I know. She wants me to put my hat on. My hair's everywhere. So there we go. All right.
Look at that
So-
short girl hair. Look at that. So
Yeah.
cute.
And sexy.
Ah,
So, anyways,
hate
so
it.
yeah. So I'm the guy. Okay, I'm not pro feeding veterans alcohol. I'm not for that. And a lot of the VFWs, the American Legions, like all of those groups, a lot of what you hear about and what you see is feeding veterans alcohol, thinking that that's the way to help them.
Right.
I'm against it. I don't agree with it. I think that's the worst idea that you could possibly do,
Right.
especially with a veteran that's suffering from PTSD. Luckily, the
Well, I
beautiful
think
woman that I'm with
Yeah.
she's trying to change that.
Well,
and
I
love
think in
that.
fairness, like, and I'm speaking from experience here. Okay, my grandparents were both in World War II.
Mhm.
Okay, and they were American Legion post people forever. You gotta understand the mentality. The 1950s/1960s mentality is 100% different than what it is now. Right? It's kind of things are kind of out of phase with that. What happened to the whoop?
Yeah.
There goes the screen. Unnecessary zoom. Ah,
The,
we're doing
you
a
know,
Wayne's World thing tonight.
the dogs. They
Oh,
they knocked everything over.
yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
But I think what's happening now is the new generation, the one like you were saying, this next generation coming up has come to the realization that medicating people with alcohol is not a good idea.
Right.
And especially people with PTSD, you're creating a bigger ball of problem than you realize if you're not careful.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I can only tell you that if you haven't gotten help, get help. Right? If you are somebody, if you're a vet and you're listening to this, and you haven't gone and if you don't have a rating yet, you are in the wrong. Get squared away, because this is something you are owed. Period. Full stop. I don't care if you were only in the freaking military for 90 days.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
If you meet the requirements, whatever that may, and I'm not a specialist in this, so don't quote me. I don't know. If I ever think of, maybe sometime we'll get my wife on here. She rattles it off at people. My wife was a respiratory therapist for a time at the VA in Wilmington. And she also worked in an area that helped returning Gulf War vets.
Mhm.
And she knows this stuff inside out and backwards. And she is the holy high priestess of get your veteran disability stuff. In fact, some of my neighbors who were ex-Army, they all went to her, and she basically wrote out their stuff for them.
Yep.
But this is something you need to do. I don't care what branch you're in. Even if you're a little coasty, it's okay. I love you. Had to get my rip in while I could.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's not here yet, too, so he can't defend himself. But no, like you're absolutely right. Like you're absolutely right, though. Like it needs to. If you haven't gotten it, you need to go get it.
Right.
And I mean, I can't stress that enough for any veteran, really.
Right.
So, but yeah, a lot of veterans right now are really agitated at the VFW for doing exactly what they're doing right now, which is going after a guy that is doing nothing more than standing up and saying, "Hey, if you're feeling this way, suicidal, I love you." You know?
Well, and there's this nifty little thing we have called freedom of speech.
Yeah,
So
right.
I don't understand why they're being like. I don't know the backstory, so I don't want to disparage anybody. But if I don't care what side of the aisle you're on,
Mhm.
if you're telling me somebody like that can't stand up and say what they want to say, then so be it. You probably need to go.
Yeah, and so this is apparently coming from like all of the like Washington D.C. VFW apparently, which is a problem. Like I think if it's coming from the top and trickling down, that's a problem. It's saying
It is,
a
and
lot
it
about
wouldn't
the
surprise
top.
me if it is.
Yeah, right. So,
Get what you need.
everything good?
Yeah, I don't know. She's babbling about something.
Oh, okay, fair
There
enough.
was somebody screaming outside. I think the boogeyman is here.
Yeah, yeah.
If you see a guy with a knife or an axe, let me know, and I'll handle it.
But we're gonna have to take all the girls out to the shooting range one
I'm
time.
telling you. Well, she won't be shooting anytime soon. There's no way I'm letting my wife shoot.
So
Anyway, so no, I feel you, man. I have look. I don't have to agree with you to protect your rights, and my friends and I, and I'm sure you feel the same way. We put our life on the line for that very reason, or one of the reasons we put our life up there, because we strongly believe in the First Amendment. And that's why I'm a Second Amendment guy too, because without the second, you don't have the first.
Right, exactly.
And that's my philosophy on it. And I believe in you can take my guns, bullets first, anytime you want.
Yeah, and Heather sent us the
link,
the link in Discord.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Yeah, so that's the whole post there. So now we both have it. But yeah, that's the full backstory on it.
That's crazy, dude.
Right. It's insane.
It doesn't surprise me.
I mean, it shouldn't surprise me, but it does, because a veteran trying to take care and watch out for other veterans, isn't that what we're supposed to do? Like, isn't that what the camaraderie is?
You would think.
Right.
But you got to realize too that this, and I don't know that I would say this about everybody in the VFW, but this kind of stuff has been monetized by groups.
Oh,
and they want a monopoly on it.
I definitely believe that. Rob Hunter.
And they don't like competition. And they don't believe in that.
Yeah, if you are in the Terrell at Kaufman County, right? Kaufman County. Rob Hunter is the VFW for Kaufman County.
The VSO.
Or VSO. Yep. Jesus.
English is hard.
English is not my language tonight. Sorry. Yeah, I blame it on my meds.
And by the way, I don't know if you know this, but I know this because I do it every year. If you live in the state of Texas and you are a 100% disabled veteran, You do not pay property tax in the state of Texas.
Oh God, yeah, I know. That's the best part, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't that lovely?
It's fantastic.
I don't even want to tell you how much I'm saving right now. It's a stupid amount.
I think we need to go back, babe. That's what needs to happen. We need to go back.
Yep.
Get our benefits up to 100%.
Yeah, do it.
Especially with my back. Oh man.
I don't understand why you're not.
Dude, you would think being shot and with a Purple Heart, you'd be at 100%.
Well,
but no.
And Purple Heart's supposed to get you extra too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my PTSD, all of it. But
I would get that. I would get that reevaluated if I were you.
I probably should, honestly.
Yeah, I would. And it doesn't.
It's a pain in the rear end. Is what
the big thing is, and this is, and honestly, and I'm gonna be real honest here, and I'll tell you this because I, for a time period, worked for some government agencies out after out of the military.
Mm-hmm.
They are counting on the fact that you will not stand the paperwork to do it.
Yep.
And they do this, and they may not admit this, but I will. They do this on purpose.
Yeah, I believe that.
Because they know we're an ADHD world. And that we don't have the time, we don't have the patience, and we just can't stand the attitude we get from, government workers.
Right. Exactly.
Who may not be military folks who kind of look down on people like us.
Yeah.
And I just look at them like, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
I'm getting mine because I did my time.
Right. Exactly.
And you shouldn't feel bad about it either. This is money that you're owed. Period. Full stop.
Yep. Exactly.
And if you're someone, especially if you're someone who suffers from PTSD, this does not make you a freeloader or a weak or anything. That's not, no.
Yeah.
You've served your country. You've done your job. As long as you did it honorably, you didn't get yourself in a lot of trouble and all that stuff.
I mean, I got in trouble.
But still, it depends on. I'm talking like putting the brig and dishonorably discharged and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You didn't go to Leavenworth, did you?
No, I didn't do anything stupid.
I went there to visit once.
I didn't do anything that stupid. Hey, look who it is.
Speaking of trouble, and the Coast Guard guy shows up, fashionably late as always. No, I'm just dogging you.
It's our favorite Coastie.
That's right.
How you doing, man?
Good. I had to come prepared today.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, it's
we're talking about VA, BFW.
Or we can talk about whatever he wants to talk about. That's fine.
Yeah,
now that he's here, the comedy's back. We're good.
I had to get my new scene.
Oh, nice.
Swamp scene today.
Yep. So we're talking about veteran stuff right now. Before we dip into the D&D stuff here.
We were killing time till you got here because you're the one that knows everything.
Yeah. we're all screwed if that's the case.
Yeah.
You got jokes.
Oh, that's great. It's fantastic. Yeah. No, we
I haven't had a whole lot of time to study it or go deep into it, but I do know how it's worked in other systems. But they did drop 2 days ago. They dropped some information about Bastion systems and it's going to be in the DMG, which is really cool. I wanted to cover it last week, and we don't have obviously a copy of the DMG yet. I think it comes out soon, right? It's the early
November.
Release. Yeah.
Right.
So the early release comes out a little bit earlier than everybody else gets it, but they did drop a video on it. How I've seen it work in other places. One, you can have a direct portal in your Bastion, so you can have a place to link back to. So if you have any spells or if you have any items that allow you to teleport within your plane or even across planes,
Mm-hmm.
It allows you to instantly port back to your Bastion if need be. So kind of like a get the hell out of Dodge type thing and save your party if possible. The other thing too that it does is it gives you more things to do in downtime. So you have to build your Bastion, right? It's not just given to you. You have to actually purchase the property and build the home, and you have to build the sections in it, and you can have different things within the Bastion as far as how I've seen it. Now, again, I quickly watched their video, but how I've seen Bastions work in other systems, and I think they had Bastions in the old D&D systems as well.
Yeah.
But you could have like a forge and all that, so you get an area where you actually like can create weapons and all that stuff. You can have an area where like you could literally have a wizard's tower if you wanted to, right? Like you can have all these different things inside your bastion system that allow you to gain benefits from it. Now, the other thing too that you can do is you can actually gain bonuses from having bastions. And the idea behind that is you are like super knowledgeable in something, or you have somebody back home that's constantly working on something that can give you like insight on things, or even if it's like somebody that is like churning out healing potions, right? Potions of healing. And they've like stumbled across like a better way of making it, or a more I guess just a better system for putting it together, and so you can actually get bonuses on the actual like health potion itself. And on top of that too, though, now you can sell health potions to the local like store, right? And so you can make money that way. And you can sell all these things, so you can make money while you're not there.
Right.
It costs you money to have it too, though, because you're going to have people that are there working for you. You have to keep them safe. You have to like upkeep your property. You have to pay your taxes. You have to like all these things, right? So there's other parts that come to it. So it really gets into the detailed side of like your downtime.
We're over here talking about we get
Taxes.
free tax.
We don't
free
pay
land-
taxes.
Yeah, we don't pay taxes, man. What are you talking about? We're just talking about taxes too.
Well, I mean, they play D&D in jail too, right? So you guys are set.
No.
But
No.
We're talking
My
about
wife is 100% disabled. In Texas, you don't pay tax if you're 100%
Yeah,
disabled.
that's what we were talking. We were
I'm
talking
just
about
saying,
VA stuff.
But yeah, so there's some really interesting things that come along with it. Again, there's a whole video that they listed on it, but I really look forward to it personally. And again, you guys kind of know, like, my style of play, like I really enjoy like downtime and like thinking through things of like what can I do next and how can I better my character, and like what can my character get into, and like who knows, maybe what that does is it allows me to like find my next character that I'm gonna play too when that one retires, right? Like
Right.
if you have a bastion system, so there's a lot of things that you can play off that way. But yeah, thoughts on bastion systems? Are you guys familiar with them at all?
I mean, I know about.
I've heard of them. I've never played one.
Yeah.
I mean, what you could do is put a collection of all your old characters in there and have them fight a battle royale for the biggest and baddest of the bunch.
I mean, there's nothing that says you can't have a Coliseum bastion, right?
I know, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Make money off of that, right?
Right.
Underground fighting.
Exactly.
Start
Fight
your
Club,
own
it's a
Fight
real
Club.
thing. Hey, we don't. The first rule about Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys
So-
both broke it. So anyway,
God, I miss those.
Wait. Hold on. That's not fair. Like you get one.
Anyways, I know that I wanted to talk about it last time, and I was kind of looking for it in the player's handbook, but they did finally roll it out as that it's going to be part of the DMG. Yeah, there's some other cool things that they're putting out in the DMG now, whereas they're actually giving you like more detail about planes, like
Right.
where the planes are and how the planes work and why they exist, and like more lore behind them instead of you just having to make it all up right as a DM. Obviously, it's always open for interpretation, and the DM can always like twist it however they want. But it's really good for people that are just getting into the system that have no idea like how do the different planes work, how are they linked, and all that stuff. So you could literally have an entire campaign like just traveling between planes with some of them because they're so vast, right? Like
Right.
there's been stories like lore that like you enter a plane and like you don't come out of it for like 800 years, right? Because like you get all twisted around and it's really hard to get out of, and you end up in other planes trying to get back to where you started in the first place. But
See,
so
that's
there's a
like
lot of ways you can go about it. But
one of the things about Evan Reach that I'm actually making a few changes to
Mhm.
is because I want to actually merge So I should really actually pull up the screen of it. But on my map of Ebon Reach, I have now included the Fae plane on the actual map itself. What I want to do is kind of merge a couple of the planes. So I want to add the Fae plane as part of the actual world, and then the Shadow Veil. I actually want to make that on part of, like, if you look at my map, the left side of the map, there's the whole coastline that runs down, and I'm actually thinking about making that into like the Shadow Veil,
Have
all
you
the way up to the mountain.
have you looked into? So when you're going to enter the Fae, are you going to use the actual like the true lore behind it, where like time is different depending on what section you enter?
Yeah,
Because
and
with
if
the
you
Fae,
look at
like you can enter in on one side and like time slows down when you enter, and it's actually like progressing on the other side a lot faster. So when you come out, you're still like, you enter at like 20, you come out at like 22, but you've
Mhm.
actually been gone for like 200 years,
yeah,
right? Like,
so
like
if you
the
look
Fae
at
can be super crazy.
yeah, and if you look at the world already that I already have, where the Fae actually is,
Mhm.
there are floating islands and stuff like that. I already have like all of that stuff already in there. So a lot of that is actually there. Um, the other thing though that about like the Shadow Veil, a lot of the Shadow Veil is unseen, and so things can happen inside the Shadow Veil. Don't even know whenever you're walking in the real world.
Yeah, I did a
Um,
lot of research on Shadowfell because of the character that I played in the other campaign that I'm running as he's a Shadow Kai, and he actually works directly for the Raven Queen.
mhm,
His whole job is to go find like items that continue to build her like castle and stuff in like the Raven Queen's castle itself. Like the more items, the more magic items she adds to it, the more magic she gets into the actual like castle itself, and it keeps her stronger. But
right,
anyways, so his whole like family's lineage prior to her even being the Raven Queen was serving her. So like they even served her when she was like one of the high elves before the whole
mhm,
Shadowfell thing. So anyways, I did a lot of research on Shadowfell. It's a pretty interesting plane.
yeah, yeah,
And it's crazy to think that there are entire civilizations that are like within some of these planes.
yeah, and
Um,
and it's not even that though. Like there's like some of these planes are you could a whole civilization can be within a small gap,
yeah.
and
I want to go to
that's
Mesobazaar.
Yeah.
let's do it. Let's do it.
Dark
Make
out.
it happen. Yep, exactly. Let's make it happen.
I'm gonna stab someone in the face.
Would be
I want
acceptable,
those little
don't it?
handheld dart gun things, and
Yep.
they have those little sleeveless the sleeveless dart gun things. The
Right.
little crossbows that have poison darts. Yeah.
Yeah.
You might want to play a female character before you go down there, right?
Nah. I'm a mean dude. I ain't afraid of those chicks. I'm gonna show them some misogyny.
Oh.
I'm an equal opportunity beater. I don't care.
Yeah.
See, I think that's
Oh.
what's so messed up about that whole world is that they make the women out to be these Billy Bad Butts, and I'm like, really? You normally got to pay for extra to get whipped. Give me a break.
Right? Exactly.
You know?
That-
I don't get it.
Oh, that's great.
No, he's gonna spank me.
Oh goodness. And then it's us, and we're like, yes, yes, please, mistress, mistress.
Yes, I love it.
So
the snake-headed whips might change that story a little
Yeah,
bit.
just a little bit.
a little bit.
That's a whole different
Fair.
kink. I'm not into that.
Yeah. I don't know.
when
I'm
you
into
wake
that
when you
kink
wake
over
up
there,
and like
baby.
a softball size of your skin is like rotting out because of the poison from the whip, that's
Right.
probably not a good
Right.
thing, right?
That would pretty much suck.
Oh man. So yeah. Anyways, but yeah. So one of the things we were talking about, Chris, if you don't know, did you hear about the VFW going after guy with a sign?
Guy with a sign.
Yeah. So Heather posted it in the Discord. I don't know if you saw that.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, she should put it up there. Yeah, like the VFW, like from DC level. So that we're talking about the top guys
Okay.
are going after him. He's literally standing outside of Reed's Medical, and with for veterans with PTSD, and saying like, hey, I love you, like don't commit suicide, blah blah blah. And so he they went after him and talking about, don't feed the sharks. Don't feed the shark. Reed Medical. What? Yeah, that he was. They thought he was representing Reed Medical. And
Reed Medical, is that like a?
Yeah,
It's the Walter Reed Medical. It's the Army Hospital.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, got it.
It's one of the first ones when you come back from overseas. A lot of times, that's where you end up first.
That's where you end up going.
We
A lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
we went to Germany when we came back.
Yeah, that's where I went originally.
Well, I mean stateside.
But when you come back stateside, that's where you go, and then
Yeah, a lot of people go to Germany. You talking about Ramstein?
Yeah, that was kind of like our are you ready to go back to like the real world, or are you gonna kill everybody? Like,
do I have to?
Yeah, exactly. And so like, but whenever you come back here, like you either go there or you end up going to I went to Georgia.
Athens.
Yeah,
we
Athens,
had
Georgia.
We had our own facility in Virginia for the Coast Guard that we went to.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Isn't it next to SeaWorld or something?
Yeah, probably.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's one in. I always give them a hard time in San Diego. You guys were right next to SeaWorld, and I'm like, oh, goody, we're going.
Yeah.
We relieve stress by swimming with
Free
the dolphins,
Willy.
right?
Yeah, and they wanted to go Free Willy.
Go swim with the dolphins. That's our stress. That's our TAPS program.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Like, oh, you ready to get out? Okay, well, first you got to swim with the dolphins and calm down a little.
Right. So, yeah, like, and like I don't know. I think all of us have been pretty busy this week, so we really haven't had a whole lot of time to prepare much for anything right now.
Yeah.
So we were just
the people that got hit by Helene, man. I was dealing with a lot of that stuff on my side, like cancellations and stuff for my company and Helene. That was
my
crazy.
friend lost his house over there.
Yeah.
160
plus people, man.
And, okay, so let me ask you guys then, and since we're three veterans, I'm not going to sit here and say we're three disgruntled veterans, but we are three veterans that give a shit, right?
Right.
And I mean, you know what I'm saying. So, how does that make you feel though, seeing that the government's only going to give we'll give billions of dollars to foreign aid money to countries that really we're not going to get anything in return,
because it's not as easy. It's not as easy to line pockets with the money that's inside the U.S.
Right, and so we're only going to give our citizens $750. They lost their whole house, they lost their whole livelihood, and we're only going to give them $750.
That's a Costco run, man.
Okay, you're going to make my head explode.
Exactly, like that's the problem.
So there's a way to fix this.
Yeah.
It's very simple. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, purple, blue, green. I don't care what you are. If you're currently in an administrative position in the government and you voted to give these people money, you should be fired.
Or the money that you give away should be from your stockpile first.
Right. Well, that's fine.
Yeah. If they want to donate their money, then get it.
Right.
Like,
And this is part of the point too. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Federalist Papers or not. I'm a big fan. I read them all. They make me happy. They bring joy to my life. And I would encourage anyone out there listening, if you've never read the Federalist Papers, read them. The founding fathers had the very arguments that we have today about things like healthcare and illegal aliens and things like. They had these arguments. They had them out in public. Unlike our douchebags who hide in secret tunnels and whisper down the lane. The problem is no one holds these bastards accountable. and I don't care which side you're on. If you voted for this crap and I find out about it and you're in my district, it sucks to be you.
Yeah.
Because you'll never get my vote.
Yep.
People only make those decisions because it benefits them in some form
Exactly.
of way.
Mhm.
And
That's the
for
only
the
reason
life of
that
me,
that decision is being made.
I don't understand how you go in poor, become a senator, and come out a millionaire either. Unless you're doing a little insider trading, which I'm looking at you, Nancy Pelosi. And you know what? They sent what's her name? What's that chick's name? Oh, she's the cooking queen. I can't think of her name.
Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart. They sent her to prison for insider trading. And by the way, she didn't do insider trading. She got busted because she apparently lied under oath or something. I don't know. I don't care. If you insider trade and you're in the government, how is it that you get away with it? That's a nasty double standard that needs to stop. I want to hold these people to account.
That comes back to people having like emails and stuff that they weren't supposed to have in the first place. And everything else.
Don't get me
like,
started. Oh my God.
So
I'm fired up.
Are you guys familiar with Arminggold?
I know the name.
Asmongold, sorry.
I've heard of it.
So
Asmund, yeah.
Asmongold, like I watch him off and on or whatever, but there is one where he covers how Poland deals with all of their illegal immigrants. Are you guys
there is
familiar
no
with that
such
at all?
thing there.
So they actually instated sometime last year. They instated a law that they shoot on sight if you come across the border illegally.
Lovely.
And you can come in. You can come in legally, like they allow it, right? There's people that go to college there. There's people that go like there's people that move there and work there and so forth and everything else. But their crime rate shrunk. Their GDP is like outstanding, right? Like they're like all these things because they're not paying. They don't give any aid outside of Poland. All the money that's in Poland goes to Poland. So and he actually calls out like San Francisco and like all these other things, right? Like when he's talking to him about it, it wasn't Asmongold that was talking to him, but he was just covering some other guy that was there talking to him. But he calls it out and he states, he's like, if you vote for these things, right? Like if you vote for Kamala and their practices and what they believe in, then you are making a decision. There's two things that he put into it. One, you're probably making it off of the fact that it's considered a luxury decision because it's not affecting you. Right. When you make that decision, it's not something that's ever going to affect you. If it did negatively affect you in some sort of way, you would probably never make that decision again.
And that's exactly why Texas started flying people to Martha's Vineyard.
Yep.
Exactly.
So just to hook them up.
Yep.
I grew up on the East Coast, and I hear it all the time. Oh, we are a sanctuary city. Come to Texas, pumpkin.
Yeah,
I got something for you. I'll show you sanctuary.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Look at
you know what's ironic?
They did it.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying look at San Francisco. They did it. They're sanctuary city. Look how that turned out.
Yeah, that's why I'll never go back. And it's a shame because it was a beautiful place.
And you can shit on the sidewalk, and it's okay.
Right. The poop patrol.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know, this is here's one of the fallacies of life. They always tell you stupid things. It's such a tough thing to deal with. Blah blah blah. No, it's not. No. This has been going on for millennia. And I'll give you an example. The thing that the Poles are doing is the same thing that the Romans did. You know how the Romans handled the Gauls when they wanted to illegally come into their country? They would line the border with crucified people.
Yeah.
Guess what happened? They stopped coming.
Yep.
Now, I understand why the Gauls wanted to do it, because they had this guy named Genghis Khan breathing down their neck, and they were trying to get away from him. I get it.
Well, either decision they made was bad.
They were screwed either way. And that's my ancestry, so I feel for them. I really do. But the bottom line is, you know, I have no problem with people who legally immigrate to this country. I have a real problem with people who jump the line and then go, oh, I need all these benefits. Well, what about us? We were here first. And some of us actually gave up our life and our opportunities, and we went in the military and we did the right thing and took care of our country, and we're still not getting taken care of. Right. And now you have a situation where you have a natural disaster and you have these dumbcoffs in charge who don't They don't even know what they had for lunch yesterday. And then they're sitting there going, oh, well, FEMA's on the ground helping them. Really? I've talked to people who live there, and guess what? There has not been a FEMA sighting at all. They're not even there.
I've
You know
worked
that,
directly with FEMA before, and I can tell you that
It's a waste of
FEMA
time.
doesn't do much.
So Elon Musk actually just accused FEMA of obstructing relief efforts carried out by SpaceX personnel in North Carolina following recent natural disasters in the area.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the FAA has threatened to. So here's a good one for you. This will make your head explode. There were a bunch of pilots who were flying in stuff from private organizations that were trying to help out. The FAA is reporting those pilots and threatening to pull their flight license because they're doing that.
Yep. And
at the behest of the government. I want names.
All right.
I got a wall for you.
Right.
I'm gonna hook you right up.
Well, and then not only that, but like, did you hear about the police chief, or not the police chief, the fire chief, the assistant fire chief, threatened arrest against a guy that owns a helicopter.
Right.
He flew it in privately to go and try to help rescue some of these people that were stranded because a landslide took all of their house, like the entire neighborhood, gone, just gone.
Yeah.
And when he went and rescued one couple, he picked up the wife and told the husband, "Hey, I'll be back for you in just a moment." Picked up the wife, took her to where the emergency services were, landed, said, "Hey, look, here's the wife. I got to go back and get the other one." The assistant fire chief said, "If you continue to fly in this area, you will be arrested."
That's stupid.
Yeah. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, American citizens helping American citizens. Is that not like what we're supposed to do?
This is the difference between one side and the other. And I don't think we need to say which side's what.
Yeah.
The bottom line is there's a population of us who believe in family values, who believe in taking care of the population that lives in like the people on my street. I don't know them well, but if there was an emergency, I got their back all day, every day.
Yeah.
I've made it very clear to them. We don't necessarily get along. We don't necessarily see the same way, but if something bad happens, let me know. I got you.
Yeah.
I'll help you out. I have no problem with that because that's what good neighbors do.
Yeah. Well, that's supposed to be the American way.
Yes. Well, that's the Texas way for sure.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I live here now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess if you look at it from a D&D perspective, we have our own laws in place, right? Like,
right?
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm gonna go pounding on somebody pretty soon. Let me tell you. Don't make me get her because I will. She's in the other room.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, no, it was a crazy week, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to prep. But the Bastion thing did pop up, and I was like, "Well, that's cool because it's something I'm really interested in."
Yeah.
We have Daddy Bro. I don't know. I don't think I told you either because I just let Aaron know. But my current campaign that's on Sundays is going to be coming to an end soon, and probably in the next 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
And the same DM has talked about he's got a whole nother campaign that he's ready to go, but we started in person and we ended up online because he moved to Colorado and like everybody else had to move around and stuff. Great group. I enjoy playing with them. But I purposely picked an in-person game originally, right? Because I like that atmosphere and like being in person. So I may be interested in trying to get a group of us together to do something if anybody's available on Sundays because the kids are watched by my in-laws on Sunday.
Right.
So
my only problem with Sundays is that's the holy day of football.
Yeah.
And I watch football.
Yeah.
Kind of religiously, unfortunately.
I
don't even
mind
football day.
I don't even mind. Like I don't know what time most of the games tee off on Sunday, but
it just depends. Yeah. But, I mean, I'm more than interested. My wife every day is like, when are we playing D&D again?
Yeah.
Which is you have no idea how happy that makes me feel. I never
and I may
we have in common.
If that was to end,
I
may even be able to swap that time frame out for like a Friday or Saturday instead. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the in-laws agreed to watch them on that specific day. They're basically helping me out because they know my schedule and the fact that like I've constantly got the kids, like no matter what, and so it gives me a day off basically from the kids, just the way that my wife and our schedules work. So, anyways, and it allows me to actually like play D&D or whatever for a long period of time. But the idea behind this was that like when we were meeting up in person, we were playing from like noon to 6,
Right.
like an actual true like D&D like 6-hour
Fashion.
session.
Yeah.
So, so I'm interested in trying to figure out how to make that at work, like an in-person.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm down. Let me know. Keep me in the
Like
loop.
I said, I don't mind doing Saturday. I'm sure that they would be open to swapping days. Like I don't think that's an issue. I would just have to let them know ahead of time.
Whichever.
like,
I mean, even if it's Sundays, my games, I'll make it work. I'll figure something out.
I mean,
well,
if
we can
anything-
always like have the game going too. So
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But the problem is, I start watching a game, and you're gonna hear words you haven't heard before.
I don't know, man. We were all in the military. I think
I know, but I get creative.
that's fair. That is fair.
And my kid is like, "What was that?" I'm like,
well,
"Shit."
and it's fun sometimes to. I think that if you mix the two together, you're probably going to be pulling yourself away from like the actual immersion of D&D.
Yeah, and that's what I
You know?
don't want. I don't want to. I don't
Yeah.
want to interrupt anybody else's immersion either.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
we'll figure something out. Just
Yeah.
let me know.
we'll figure it out.
But anyways, I thought that would be cool, and I really want to. So there's two things I'm doing. One, at the beginning of this year, I plan to launch a Kickstarter for my child trauma kit that I'm building out.
Okay.
So it's a trauma kit that's designed for toddlers and younger. So anyways, I'm planning on launching that. And two, I really want us to get in a place for not just VD4GM, but for the other side of it with the roll for hills. I really want to start getting that to a point where we can start getting that running, because it's going to take a good 4 or 5 years for that to get up in place before it's going to make enough money for me to actually step away from like what I make now to be
Right.
comfortable to move over. Because we're going to need like 1 or 2 locations going by that time, like in order to actually like truly feel comfortable enough financially to step away from what I'm doing now. So, but that's the ultimate plan, is to eventually get into like a brick and mortar location and actually have like that this is what our full-time job is, you know, like is running a tavern or whatever, and like a game shop and all that stuff, and like a gaming area. But I have a lot of stuff in mind. It's going to take a lot of work, but there's a few places that have done really well. Somebody did point me towards a location that is up in Denton as well that has done something very similar to what we want to do in our area.
Yeah. I think that was me and Heather.
I got
were
to step
looking
away
into
for a
it.
minute. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind making a trip up there,
Yeah.
and checking it out, because from what I understand, they actually have themed rooms as well.
Mhm. Yep. They sure do.
And we're far enough away where we didn't necessarily be competition, right? Because like nobody's
Right.
gonna drive from Denton to here. Like,
Yeah. And I mean,
I
if
mean,
they do, it's only because
unless-
we're better.
yeah, right. Well, unless it's, you know, to game with a specific friend, or like, you know, there's something going on in the area or whatever that is. But anyways,
Right.
so I'd like to start gathering kind of like who's doing what, and like what gaps are not being filled, and like what could they do better as well, right? Like start gathering some of that.
Yeah.
So we know what to do right moving forward. But anyways, that's my goal, is for us to be in a spot in 4 or 5 years from now to literally like be able to have, and if it would probably realize sooner for you than it would for me. You know what I mean? Like on like where I need to be in order to step away and all that stuff. So, because you're going to have like the food side of it and everything, like you're going to be a lot more involved at the very beginning of everything too.
Right.
Food. I like food.
So, right.
Well, that's part of the tavern idea. Like the tavern idea is going to be, but what I want to do is I want to take like the D&D-esque cookbooks and stuff like that and kind of merge that into it.
I think that we talked about before having like a staple menu and then having a menu that rotates.
A rotating. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
you
That
have
would
to
be
do
awesome.
that. You have to have a quarterly rotating menu.
And there have been a lot of D&D cookbooks that have been put out since the 70s.
Yeah.
Like all
Well,
the way through. There's a lot of different things you could do. And I'm sure there's stuff too, like if you have the background like you do, I'm sure you
Mhm.
can look back and look at like, okay, what did they do in like medieval periods and all that stuff. You can come up with things that would fit the
Medieval food's not good.
No,
I was
but there is
surprised,
there's
I was
ways that
surprised
you
there's
can
a-
change it up though.
Well,
like-
yeah, but they cooked with a lot of herbs and there was a lot of bread, and I'm a fat guy and I don't want to die. Don't get it
There's
twisted. I love it. I just can't eat it.
There's a guy that there's a chef on YouTube that like cooks from different periods and stuff, and I've seen him
Yep.
cook a few things from the medieval period or whatever, and it's pretty
Mhm.
cool. But you just have to pick the right group, right? Like the Norse and stuff like that, right? Where like
Yeah.
Well, now you're talking. Pickled herring, yum yum.
yeah. So like if you could, you can look through some of the stuff that like I've looked through some of it already, and some of the most common one of the most common things to do though was a stew with the same broth that was like 700 years old, and what they do is they just keep adding to it.
Oh
Let's-
yeah, it's one of those never-ending broths that has
Yes.
like 500 types of E. coli.
well,
in
that's
it.
like there's
Right, you know? It was a thing.
there's,
It's cooked, so the E. coli doesn't last very long.
there's a company in New York City that does sourdough bread, and their sourdough bread has the same strain of yeast since like the
Yeah, I saw
600
that.
or something like that, 600
Yeah.
or 700 AD. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
same strain of
same.
yeast. It's never been lost. Yeah, and so,
Yep.
it's they like, yeah, they boast about it that it's been
That's some
around
stale
forever.
bread, man.
Well, it's not the bread; it's just the yeast that's in the
No, I
bread that
get it.
makes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but it's crazy, man. Like to think that, like, yeah. Anyways,
Now you're making me want to go to the pub in Scotland that's from like 900 AD or whatever.
hey, well, you know, like
They probably have good food.
if the
honestly.
business is going strong, there's always reason to go do like R&D, right? We got to go
Yeah.
check out other places. So.
Well, that's what I'm going
Right.
to tell my wife. Hey, honey, I'm going to Scotland to have a pint to check out this place that's been under the same family since 900 AD because we're doing research.
Yep.
She's not going to buy that for a second.
I don't know.
She'll be like, I don't think so. Fuck yeah.
But
That would be
anyways, that I would really like to have a plan in place where we're going to be like super stable in the next like
Mhm.
4 to 5 years.
That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
So
that would be fantastic, honestly.
and I think that's being realistic, and that's just coming from my like business consulting background and all that stuff, understanding like how long it really takes.
I was
to
going to
get
say,
something
you've
off the
actually
ground
done
and all
stuff
that
like this, so you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've launched a few, and so like once we get it, the idea is if we can make this work, I think, especially for how, well, one, what we're trying to do is different, but two, for how popular D&D has gotten recently, I'm really shocked that places like the one in Denton and stuff haven't taken the time to try to franchise out.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of things you have to be careful with when you franchise or whatever, because you want people to maintain a certain level of integrity with your business or whatever. But there's always room for like turning chains and stuff like that in the future. So anyways, it would just be interesting to see where this thing could go. And if you do it right and you really put in the time, I think this thing could be big. I mean, there's a company that people are paying $6,000+ to go play D&D at just to play D&D in a castle.
What?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
no,
it's
that's a
literally
real
called
thing.
it's literally called D&D in a castle. Like
Yep.
they own castles. They own a castle here in the U.S. someplace, and they own like 3 or 4 castles in the Europe. And it literally costs, just to play the game, it literally costs $6,000. And then on top of that, if you stay in the castle, it's like another $3,000. So you're talking between $9,000 and $15,000 for a D&D weekend.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah.
That must be
And
some
people are paying
weekend.
it. So
Yeah.
you're fully
it's a thing.
immersed.
Yeah.
You're fully, because they actually like they LARP and all that stuff, and they cook there.
They got
and
coconuts?
You live, yeah, right.
So if you're not a Monty Python person, you don't get that joke. Sorry.
Yeah. Well,
European or African?
what is the velocity of a sparrow?
It's a swallow.
Or swallow. That's right. What's
We
the
had
air
a-
velocity of a swallow?
We had a DM,
African or European?
the same DM that I was talking about that's running the campaign that moved to Colorado recently. He had a Dark Knight that did the whole Monty Python thing
Oh,
on
that's
whether or not we
awesome.
could
Oh, that's
whether or not we could
fantastic.
cross the bridge. We had to answer the questions, right? Yeah. So
It's only a flesh wound. Did you have the killer white rabbit too?
yeah.
Yeah, the killer.
The whole thing. Yeah.
It's just
so-
a little fluffy bunny.
The first time my daughter saw that, she said, "Dad, you should dress up like the Black Knight for Christmas or for Halloween." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Maybe.
Yeah, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me.
Tis but a scratch."
So
All right,
anyways,
guys, look,
that-
I gotta jump. It's 5 minutes to 10, and I've got
I was
a
gonna
little
say,
bit of the craft to play tonight.
yeah, I was gonna say we can end the stream a little bit early. I know we got here a little late tonight, and we weren't really prepared for much. We had a busy week. I had a
Birthday
week.
party.
Yeah, I had a birthday party, and then
Happy.
yeah, it was all good times. So, and I know we're real busy. We always have things going on. So, next week we'll be a little more prepared. Get on a little bit sooner than what we
Maybe
usually
I'll
do.
make some old-fashioned sourdough bread.
There we go. There we go. Exactly. So, I will let Daddy Bro close us out like always.
Oh,
and-
good God. Here we go. You ready?
Yep. Let's do it.
Make
Let's
sure
hear
you get yourself something good to drink. Get yourself something good to eat. Hug the people in your life because you never know how long you got them. And last but not least, if you need help, get help. Getting help does not make you weak. It, in fact, makes you strong. Have a good night. Talk to you all later. Bye-bye.
988 press 1.
There it is.
988. Press 1. All right, you guys.
Do
You guys
it.
have a good one.
All right. Bye-bye.